I know we all fall down every now and then. All these bodies were given, sometimes are meant to sin. So grant me freedom, so grant me grace for the things I've done and about to face.
Well, welcome back to Redeemed by Grace Fellowship's Question of the Week. We are glad to see you. Hope you've had a good week. And we have a pretty good question that was sent in this week. And that is, will we be able to see and know our friends and family members in heaven? Well, that's a great question. And I hope you will enjoy this program. And if you ever have a question, you could always submit your questions to rbgf22@yahoo.com, our email address, and we'll be glad to review those. And we pick one a week to do this with. So that is the one we chose this week. And shout out to you who sent it, and thank you very much. And we'll get started on it right away. Again, welcome to this week's question of the week. Will we be able to see and know our friends and family members in heaven? Well, many people say that the first thing they want to do when they arrive in heaven is to see all their friends and loved ones who have passed on before them. And that will indeed be a blessed time as believers unite to fellowship, to worship God, to enjoy the glorious wonders of heaven. And one of the blessings is that we will know our friends and family members in heaven, and we will be known as well. Our ability to recognize people in the afterlife is suggested in several passages of Scripture. At the transfiguration, for example, of Christ, Moses and Elijah, well, they made an appearance and they were recognizable. We see that in Matthew chapter 17. And though they had departed this world centuries prior, both Moses and Elijah, remained distinct persons who hadn't lost their identity. In Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31, in fact, we see that Abraham and Lazarus and the rich man were all recognizable after death. In fact, King Saul recognized Samuel's description by the witch Endor when she summoned Samuel from the realm of the dead in 1 Samuel 28. And when David's young son died, David declared, "I will go to him, but he will not return to me," in 2 Samuel chapter 12. So David's words imply that he believed he would recognize his son in heaven. In all these examples, the Bible seems to indicate that after death, we will still be recognizable to each other. And that is a good thing for most of us that are looking forward to that day. And the Bible also declares that when we arrive in heaven, we will be like him, that being Jesus, for we shall see him as he is, in 1 John chapter 3. And just as our earthly bodies were of the first man, Adam, so our resurrection bodies will be like Christ's glorified body that we see in 2 Corinthians chapter 15 and Philippians chapter 3. And it's just as we have borne the likeness of the earthly man, so that we will bear the likeness of the man from heaven. And for the perishable must clothe itself with the imperishable, and the mortal with immorality, that we see in 1 Corinthians 15. Jesus was recognizable after his resurrection. A bunch of references to that. John 20, John 21, 1 Corinthians 15, and so on and so forth. But it stands to reason friends, that we will also be recognizable in our glorified bodies. So, being able to see our loved ones, well, friends, that's a glorious aspect of heaven. And what pleasure it'll be to reunite with our loved ones and worship God with them in his presence for all eternity. Well, that's this week's question of the week, and we just thank you for sending that in. And again, if you have a question, you can always submit them at rbgf22@yahoo.com. We do have several things that we'd like to ask you to do to help us proclaim the gospel around the world. And one of those is to simply subscribe to this channel. Whatever platform you're watching this on, please subscribe. That not only makes sure you never miss out on any of our content, but it also allows us to share the gospel around the world. And you also can help by hitting that like button or hitting that heart button, depending on your platform, for the algorithm. It'll tell this platform that people want to see this, so it needs to go out. And so please do that as well. And then you have a choice to share it yourself. Share it absolutely to public, share it to your friends, share it to your relatives, share it to all those you're going to see in heaven one day, right? But all those things do. You'll find Redeemed by Grace Fellowship on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram, X, TikTok, Truth Social, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Threads, and Spotify. You will even find us on a couple of others that we're trying out, such as my channel. And so take a look at those and just go to every platform that you're on, look for us, make sure that you're following us, and so you can engage with that content as it does come across your feed. And we thank you for that as well. You can find in our study several different Bible studies that are going on. For example, we have an ongoing study through the book of Revelation that you can go get involved with. We have an ongoing study through the Pauline epistles. We're doing those in chronological order from when they were written. And we are currently in Colossians, if I'm remembering right. And we have some completed studies out there, the Gospel of John. That's a great one. Go through that as well. Our very first study was a walk through the book of Acts back in 2022. And so it's out there. And we got a suggestion across email while we were doing that very first study. And the question was, do you have anything about the basics of Christianity? Well, absolutely. In fact, at that time, I was in my local church going through a course authored by John MacArthur. It was the greatest course I think I've ever taken, to be honest with you, and you guys ought to take it. It's called The Fundamentals of the Faith. Go out there, check that out, follow the things. If you have questions during any of those completed episodes, you can always email your questions in. Let us know what study you're in and where you're at in that study so that we can answer your question within the context. And also, if you are preparing for an upcoming lesson, you can send those questions ahead of time. And we utilize, just like we do on this live every Friday, we also answer questions during the episode that relate to that particular lesson. So feel free to do that as well. And so, yeah, join us for all those things. And we look forward to doing that. Again, our question this week was, will we be able to see and know our friends and family members in heaven? Again, thank you so much for sending that in. If you need to read the answer to the question, you will find it on our Facebook page. Go out there on the Facebook page. You will find the written answer here shortly after we close out. But we thank you for being with us. Again, please subscribe, please like, and please share this out. God bless you. We will see you next week for our next live on Question of the Week.
'cause you